All right, guys. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the key players from yesterday's win versus the Broncos. Tomorrow, we're going to do film breakdown. So I'll have one out on a Murray and Hampton, probably do one on Ronnie Gadsden, maybe both of them. Let me know what you guys want to see down below. Justin Herbert deserves a lot of credit because he was under pressure the entire game. He ended up being hit 15 times, sacked 5. It's a lot for a quarterback to have to endure, constantly under pressure, getting hit. Herbert made one of the best plays of his career, rolling to his left. Nick Benito was draped all over him, was able to get his left arm extended out, and Herbert just flicked it right around him to Keenan Allen for the touchdown. And speaking of Keenan Allen, he's the only receiver in the NFL who's caught a touchdown in every game and has had 60 plus yards. Unk came out of retirement, practically, and is just absolutely lighting it up. And one more thing on Herbert. He currently leads the league in passing yards with 860. I think the best thing to happen to Herbert, and I mentioned this after we beat the Chiefs. I say we like I'm on the team, but whatever. Herbert, there was something that sparked him after that game against Houston where he threw 4 interceptions, more than he threw all season. I'm honestly glad that happened because we've just seen a different Justin Herbert. He's always had the talent, but his leadership and his tenacity have been on a completely different level this season. And I'm happy for Herbert. He deserves it, man. He's the reason why I'm a Charger fan. I know I'm a new Charger fan. Don't hate me down below, but I became a football fan because of Justin Herbert, man. I really like this guy when he's at Oregon. Ronde Gadsden was activated due to Will Disley's injury. It was the first time we've seen him all season, and he certainly delivered. He had 5 catches for 46 yards on 7 targets. Who would have seen that coming? 7 targets, the same as Lad McConkey, who goes 4 for 41. Gadsden had a more productive day receiving. Derwin James just continues to be one of the better players in football. I say it time and time again. He's the best safety. It's not even close in the league. 12 tackles, 4 for a loss, and a sack. For any safety, that scene is just a crazy game. But Derwin does that every week to this point. We saw what he did against the Raiders, of course. And then Cameron Dicker is the last player I want to highlight because he made a game-winning 43-yard field goal. Hookem. Dicker's the most accurate quarterback in the history of football. When the game is on the line, he delivers. And Herbert was able to score a huge touchdown and then the next drive get his team down to field goal range and let Dicker do the rest. The thing about the Chargers is if they're tied late in a game, they're going to win that every single time, assuming they touch the ball last, because Herbert's going to get them down to that range and Dicker's going to take care of the rest. And the way the defense is playing, the Chargers legitimately can compete with anyone. And you wouldn't have thought that, well, you would have thought Khalil Mack didn't play because the pass rush I didn't think was very good. But no Mack, no Rashawn Slater. And here this team is at 3-0. Like, it's remarkably impressive. Coming into the season, I was sort of mixed on the Chargers. When Slater went down, I was like, the season's over. And then I was like, wait, hang on. I mean, Trey Pipkins, he's not the worst player in the world, and I think he's played pretty well. Mekhi Becton also got hurt, so you had Jamar Sawyer in there. But I started to think about it, and I said that, well, isn't this who the Chargers are? And this is who they want to be under Jim Harbaugh, is they want to have the deepest roster in the league. There was several, like Tony Jefferson didn't even make the roster, 53 man. I mean, I know he's there now off the practice squad, but this is probably the deepest Charger team, at least since I've been alive. I'm 26, so there's so much talent on this team from top to bottom. The receivers the offensive line was my biggest concern, but the O-line's actually played pretty well. I don't think the interior is great by any means, but it hasn't been bad. Maureen Hampton, I don't know how forgot to mention him, by the way. I'll get back to my point in a second here. Maureen Hampton, 19 for 70 and a touchdown. How many of his yards came in the second half? Let's see. I have the number. I wrote it down in my notes earlier this morning. Hampton, or did I? I guess I didn't. That's on me. I think it was 96 of 129 total yards. Okay, there it is. Came in the second half. And again, this is a line without Becton and a line without Rashawn Slater. Just the talent is clearly there. Najee Harris did get injured. I don't have an update on him or Becton. Let's do that right now quickly because Najee Harris injury update. I don't know why I didn't look at that. He's going to miss the remainder of the season. Oh my God. I mean, I'd expected that, but just to see it officially is not ideal to say the least. Now all of a sudden, maybe Rocket Sanders will be kind of called back up. I think he was actually completely waived though. I don't know if that's even possible. Probably Vidal. Mekhi Becton Injury update. This should be a little bit more positive. So he suffered a concussion, was ruled out the remainder of the game. So if it's a concussion, he should be good to go. Or he won't. AI is saying that it's going to be Jamari Sawyer against the Giants. Yeah, I mean, it's the New York Giants. I don't see a reason to rush him back. If it was a game against like the Philadelphia Eagles, then probably a different story here. But I would probably just give him the rest of the week off and give Sawyer reps. But now, for if you're Justin Herbert, you have Jamari Sawyer and Trey Pipkins against one of the best fronts in football. I mean, we're talking about Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, the rookie they drafted. They've also got Lawrence, don't they? I mean, this is an unbelievable front. So that could be a concern. I mean, the Chiefs and the Giants played last night. It was actually pretty competitive for the majority, but the Chiefs' offense is nowhere close to the offense of the Chargers because the Chargers, not that they've run the ball great, they did good yesterday, Sunday, whenever you guys are watching this, but they have weapons. And also, Justin Herbert hits on the deep ball. It's something that Patrick Mahomes hasn't done this season is connect on those deep throws. That's why the Chiefs have been so deadly. They haven't done that. And even defensively, I mean, the Chiefs really haven't had much of a pass rush. The Chargers are still kind of looking for options without Khalil Mack, but just two completely different teams heading in different directions. But losing Najee for the season is a big deal. The reason why the Chargers were so one-dimensional last season is because they didn't have any good running backs. So they drafted Amari Hampton in the first round. They bring in Najee, but you can't just run Hampton to the ground. Hassan Haskins is probably going to be asked to do a lot more, but you need another back. Haskins is more of a special teams guy. Kamani Vidal, like maybe Rocket Sanders, Raheem Sanders can come back, or maybe they end up bringing in a veteran. I don't really know. Marshawn Lynch, I imagine Marshawn Lynch would be crazy, but that's kind of where I'm at with the current team. But in terms of the Chargers moving forward, I feel obviously amazing about them 3-0 for the first time in a long time, like 23 years, did I say in my last video? But you just look at both sides, they're getting it done. Like the offense wasn't great by any means, but Herbert did throw for 300 yards. He was under pressure and he still was able to score that touchdown, get his team into a position to kick a game-winning field goal. Amari Hampton had 70 rushing yards and a touchdown. And then Johnston and Keenan Allen have been balling out this season. I didn't even talk about Quentin Johnston. 89 yards. How many does he have in the season? Because he has certainly stepped up. 239, that's sixth in football. Of course, there is a game currently going on. I'm recording this at halftime of Monday Night Football, by the way. It's so difficult for me to get out a video every single day on the Chargers just because I cover so many different things. But for the Bolts, I mean, they've gotten good production from Allen, from Johnston. In terms of Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith, I think around week 12, week 13, we'll start to see them be more involved in the offense. I mentioned this all summer. I was like, give it time, man. I mean, they're rookies. It's going to take time. I mean, veterans are the move. I mean, Ladd McConkey has kind of been off to a slow start this season because Keenan Allen is getting all the work. And then Johnson has been a deep threat. He had a 37-yard catch to open up this game and get the Chargers in the field goal range. 10 targets for Johnson, 11 for Allen, and just 7 for McConkey. You'd have to imagine the game plan is to limit McConkey, though. I mean, numbers can be a little bit misleading at times, but that's kind of all I got. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the video. Like I said, we'll go a little bit more in depth tomorrow during the film. I just wanted to get out a video because I'm trying to post daily.